Hi, and welcome to Classic Advice. I'm Scarlett Classic, your host. Welcome, everyone. To those of you that are new, on this podcast, I share stories from my life in order to draw lessons from them to encourage self-improvement for a happier and more fulfilling life. For the date of release of this episode, it's going to be coming out on New Year's Eve. And I don't normally center my episodes on the holidays, but last week's and this week's, I thought it would be appropriate because loneliness can trigger at any time, and we can always make a new resolution, even if it's not January. Do you have a New Year's resolution that you've got floating around in your brain today that you're going to strive to do this year? Something different, maybe a habit to break, maybe a habit to make. For myself, I have the, New Year's resolution that I'm never going to miss on my show, which is going to be a tough one considering that I work really long hours, but I am determined to make it work. I'm also have the goal that I'd like to work some more on my book. I think the key for having New Year resolutions is sustainable goals. It's wonderful to have big goals. I have huge goals. For those of you that are new, I am living in my camper because we just bought bare land and we're going to build our homestead piece by piece. So I have very big goals. But we need to keep in mind that sometimes our goals are a marathon and not a sprint. And I think that's what gets a lot of people that make New Year's resolutions is they think it's going to be a sprint. And when they realize it's a marathon, that's when they quit. And following your passions and following your dreams is all, you're going to hit slumps and hard times and tough times. And you need to be willing to push through all of those in order to get where you want to be. For myself, what I did is I made a very clear plan on how I was going to make this work. Right now, the date of recording, it's a few weeks ahead of when this is going to be released, because what you can do with podcasting is called batch recording and record way in advance and then upload them and set them to release on a certain day, which is part of my plan on sustainable goals. If I get ahead of myself on the month that I am off because I work a seasonal job, then when I do get back to work, my load isn't quite as heavy and my goals are a little bit more sustainable, if that makes sense. Setting our priorities and setting our goals and having sustainable goals and shifting our priorities to make sure that we hit those goals. So what are some things to help you stay consistent? Do you have a support group that can help keep you accountable? Are you keeping yourself accountable? What I do is I journal every night, and on there I check off if I'm meeting my own goals that I've set for myself. And when I journal about it and I realize, today I missed. Okay, tomorrow it has to happen, and pick a time of day that it's going to happen and just get her done. Discipline is tough because you're not always going to want to feel like working towards whatever New Year's resolution you set. Maybe it's going to the gym, and you're not always going to want to feel like going. Even though you really want to lose, say, the weight or get toned or maybe bulk up, whatever that may be, right? You're not always going to want to feel like doing it. sometimes what I'll do when I really don't want to do something is I'll reward myself afterwards with a treat of some sort. Not necessarily like sugar treats, but maybe taking time to read in my book, taking some time to myself, or maybe playing a game with my kids, doing something fun after. The other thing that we have to ask ourselves is, how badly do you want this New Year's resolution that you have in mind? How bad do you really want it? Because when life gets hard and you don't feel like doing quote unquote the thing, this is where your own passion and drive and grit is going to come in. For myself, like the goal that I mentioned of not missing on here, I really, really want it badly. So even though I may not feel like recording in the moment, or I don't feel like editing in the moment, I remind myself of why I wanted this in the first place. Having little sticky notes around can really help too, to remind you of why do you want this. So the lesson that I'd like us to take from this is sustainable goals, community, grit, determination, and one that I haven't touched on yet, but I will now, self-belief. You need to believe in yourself that you can do whatever it is that you set your mind to. And you will get there. So I challenge you to chase your dreams, because they're sure not gonna chase you. All right, as my dear friend JJ always says, please pause. Love yourself. Love yourself enough to chase those dreams, even when you really don't feel like it in the moment. And be aware of your ripple. We all have a ripple in life. Let's make it positive. Stay classically you. Stay uniquely you. You guys are the absolute best. I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear what your New Year resolution is. Even if it's in July, it doesn't matter. You can make a New Year's resolution anytime. And I would love to hear what it is. ClassicChronicles.ca. It is all in the show notes. You guys take care. Until next time. Bye.